Hello everyone and welcome to this absolute beginner's guide to the giant mole. In the guide I'm going to give you a full breakdown of what the best abilities are to use as well as the mechanics of the boss. So let's jump into the gear setup and the abilities that you'll need. So the first setup is the minimum that you should be using for the giant mole. It consists of a level 30 weapon in the battle staff and also spider silk armour, which is tier 20 armour. You are going to have a rough time if you're using this, but you can successfully get a kill, and I have done so. It's just not a very efficient setup. The second setup is my recommended setup. Now this is for low level players who are about level 50 magic and defense. This consists of the Slayer staff, which can also be substituted out for the Gothic staff if you're level 60 magic, as well as a set of mystic robes. These can be crafted yourself or bought off the Grand Exchange. Now this setup will require 1 to 2 pieces of food per kill. Some kills you can do with no food, some kills will require both pieces of food, but you should be completely good to go on this setup and even farm yourself quite a few kills. This is the setup that I'm using in the video just to show you how easy it is to complete, and I will be doing it with no food in the inventory. A couple of abilities that will come in really useful in this fight as well. Devotion, which you get from the Anima Islands minigame, or you can also get it from God Wars Dungeon 1, and Debilitate, which is unlocked from level 55 defense. These are useful, they are not essential, and I have got kills without these abilities, but they will make life a lot easier for you. So Giant Mole can be found underneath Falador Park. Just go to the Falador Lodestone. There is also an altar right next to the Lodestone if you do want to restore your prayer. Run to the south, then run to the east. You'll see a giant flower, and then you can create an instance just by clicking on the flower. When you get into the boss fight then, the giant mole will spawn in the northern chamber, which is the home chamber, and will spawn with 78,000 health. The first phase is super easy. The only mechanic is a standard auto attack melee attack. Simply tank the damage or run around the chamber to avoid it while doing damage yourself, and that's it. Once the giant mole gets to 70,000 health, she will dig down into the ground and go to one of the other chambers. There's absolutely nothing special in this chamber. I'd recommend just using basic abilities to get that 8,000 damage, and then you're going to be more set for the second chamber. So in this fight, the giant mole went to the northeast chamber first. Now she can go to any chamber in any order, with the exception of the home chamber, which she only goes to at the beginning and the end of the fight. She may go in a different order in your fight, but the mechanics are going to be the same for each chamber. So, the northeast chamber then. This is the Beserk chamber. When the giant mole goes to this chamber, she's just going to keep attacking you with a melee attack. Again, you can either run around the room to avoid the damage, which I'd recommend in your low level setup, or you can just stand there and tank the damage. At some point, you'll get a message saying the giant mole can now be stunned. When you get this message, that means the giant mole has gone berserk, and you absolutely want to be stunning her as soon as you can. Asphyxiate, Deep Impact, and Impact to your 3 abilities that you'll have that will enable you to do this. Make sure that you're using them as much as you possibly can while she can be stunned, because a few seconds later you will see the giant mole has regained her balance and she can no longer be stunned. If you use these stuns, you'll avoid the majority of the damage in this phase, and it will be really straightforward to get this done. Once you've dealt with this mechanic and the giant mole has got down to 57,000 health, she will dig under the floor and move to one of the other chambers. In this fight she's gone to the northwest chamber, which is the minions chamber, and this is by far the hardest chamber in the fight. What you're going to want to do, once you run into this chamber, you're going to tag the giant mole with the Combust ability. She will then immediately spawn 4 new minion moles. Each one of them gives her significant damage reduction, as well as also attacking you, which is going to drop your HP pretty rapidly. What you want to do as soon as you've used the Combust ability is you want to use Devotion, which will give you 10 seconds of complete damage immunity. You're then going to follow that up with a Chain ability, followed by a Dragon Breath. That should clear all 4 minions as long as they've been in that cone for the Dragon Breath, and you will also have 20 seconds of immunity to the giant mole's attacks. You need to be praying melee here to take advantage of this. If you've not got Protect from Melee, then I would highly recommend getting it, but again, you can use the running mechanic to kind of keep you alive if you don't have it. Once you've cleared out the minions, do as much damage as you possibly can, so you're looking at threshold abilities such as Wild Magic or Asphyxiate, and then she will spawn more minions. At this point, Chain and Dragon Breath should be roughly coming off of cooldown, so you do a couple more basic abilities, followed by a Chain and a Dragon Breath, and then clear out the minions. At this point, for the mid-level setup, you should have got her down to 42,000 HP and she should phase into a different room. For the low-level setup, you might need to tank a little bit longer, but try and get her down as quick as possible, only using Chain and Dragon Breath to kill the minions. Once she gets below this 42,000 HP threshold, she will then dig under the ground again and go into phase 4. Now in this fight, she's gone to the southwest corner, which is what I call the running chamber. Now the running chamber is called the running chamber because it does what you expect it to. You need to keep running. She will occasionally dig under the ground, and then she will pop up, and if she pops up next to you, you're going to take rapid 200 damage. Just keep running. When she pops up, she won't pop up next to you, and then you'll just be able to do your damage completely freely. If you've got Wild Magic, use Wild Magic. I would not recommend using Asphyxiate on this phase because she will come near you, and if she pops under you while you're using Asphyxiate, you're going to take about 1,000 damage. If you do stop running for whatever reason, you can always use Surge to get out of this rapid 200 damage, and that's immediately what I would do if she does pop up next to you. Once you get her down to 29,000 HP, you should be pretty much good to go to the final outer chamber, which is going to be the Rockfall chamber. In this Rockfall chamber, she will just keep doing damage to you for the first 10 seconds or so of the phase, and then you will hear a crumbling noise coming from above. As soon as you see that message, you immediately want to use either Anticipation or Freedom and start to run around the chamber. If you don't use Anticipate or Freedom, you're going to get encased in a tomb of dirt, and she's going to hit you for about 2,000 damage, which is absolutely not what you want. You can get out of it if you do get stuck by using Freedom, but it's better to use Freedom preemptively just so that you can get out of it quicker. As long as you keep running, you're not going to get hit by the rock slides, and you can stop moving as soon as the fourth one drops and just keep doing your damage. That is pretty much it for the outer phase. Once she gets down to 15,000 health, she is going to go back to the home phase, and you're on the final stretch before the end of the kill. Once she goes back to the home room, this is your important time to prepare yourself. If you're not at high health and you've not got a great setup, make sure you put yourself back to full health. Make sure that you have any prayer restores that you're using. Make sure your run energy is at full, because this is where the fight gets pretty difficult. So go into the new chamber and tag her with a combust. She will immediately spawn the 4 minions, the same as she did in the northwest chamber. Same as before, group them up by running a little bit, and then use Devotion, Chain, and Dragon Breath. That should kill all of the minions if they're close enough, as well as giving you 20 seconds immunity. The thing you need to watch out for on this one though, is occasionally she will do the dive attack from the running chamber, and then you're still going to need to move even if you have to interrupt your Asphyxiate to do it. Once she's done the minions and she's done the pop-up, you're going to be expecting a rock slide from above. So you can either anticipate early, or you can get ready to press Freedom as soon as the notification pops up. Once it pops up, just keep running, keep doing your damage as you're running around, and you will be completely fine. She will spawn new minions again, just kill them using Chain and Dragon Breath, and you can use Debilitate at any point during this phase to just reduce that damage a little bit more. Once you get her down to 0 HP, that's pretty much it. You've got the kill, and that is it. That is the fight completed. You can do it with low level setup, you can do it, as you can see, with no food and tier 50 gear. You don't need to worry, it's not a very difficult boss, and at the end of the day, if you do die, you're going to be in low level gear anyway, so it's not going to cost you much to reclaim your items from death. One thing that you do need to be aware of is that you cannot safe spot this boss. She will put a rumbling floor underneath you, and it will hit you for rapid 200 damage if she cannot reach you, or even if you're just out of range for too long. If you are running, it's not too much of an issue because you can just run out of it, and she'll keep spawning them, but they'll be in your wake, so you don't need need to worry about it too much at all. That's basically it for the Giant Mole guide. There's not really much else you need to know. As long as you've got the minimum setup, you should be able to get a kill. If you've got the mid-level setup, you'll be able to get plenty of kills. Not particularly fast, but it'll be nice and easy for you to get a few. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. I've been Hellfire Mage. If you did enjoy the video and found it useful, make sure to leave a like. If you've got any comments on things that people need to be aware of as well, make sure you leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a couple of days.